Hey, how are you?
Hey, there I am. I'm good. How are you?
Good, good.
Good.
I'm so glad you're able to come on and join me today. I appreciate
Oh,
that.
absolutely. Absolutely. No problem. Madison asked me if I'd mind doing it. And it's not my favorite thing to do, but sure, why
Okay.
not?
Yeah, I understand. I understand.
It's more because I'm trying to chase a 2-year-old around the house too. So
Yeah,
he might pop into frame here just any minute.
it's okay. It's okay. No problem at all.
All
Um,
right.
so we'll just get started. I sent you over the questions and
Yes.
stuff like that. So, the first one is basically what inspired you to become a nurse?
Oh, wow. Well, I actually got started in nursing kind of late in life. I didn't actually become a nurse till I think about 30 years old. I had worked in law enforcement before, and um, my first degree is actually in criminal justice. So I've got a
Really?
bachelor's degree in criminal justice, and I don't know. I just, I've always been kind of fascinated with the medical field, and obviously, same reason I guess everybody says they get into nursing. They like helping people, and it's just something I'm kind of good at. I've
Yeah.
always been kind of a caretaker and taking care of people, and so why not get paid for it? So,
Yeah. I mean, that's
so
great.
here I am, 17 years later, still doing it.
Yeah, I was gonna say, you've been an RN since 2005. So what made
Yeah.
you choose the ICU as your specialty? And have you always worked in
Well,
ICU or have you done?
no, actually, when I first got out of nursing school, while I was in nursing school, my fourth level, I did you kind of go your last level in nursing school, you kind of go to the area that you think best suits you that you would want to do. And I did my last level in the burn unit and at the local level 1 trauma center here in town. And I loved it. I mean, I was hooked from the get-go. I love that kind of nursing. It's such a specialty. And I've always been one to kind of do things that nobody else really wanted to do. And nobody really likes, burn nursing is either one of those things you absolutely, no way, there's no way in the world I'm going to do that, or
Yeah.
you love it. And I loved it. And so during nursing school, that's what I decided, this is what I'm doing, this is my calling. So
Yeah.
when I graduated from nursing school, um, they didn't have any positions open, so I took a position in the ER at one of our local ERs here. And uh, you know, as luck would have it, about 2 weeks into my position in the ER here, I got a call from the burn unit. Hey, we got a position open. Well, I've already committed to 2 years with the ER, so I was kind of stuck. But so I did ER for 2 years. Then went to the ICU, and I'm just kind of an adrenaline junkie. I like I like sick patients. I mean, if I want the sick patients. I want to take care of the sickest ones you have. Let me have it. That's what I want to do. I feel like I perform pretty well under pressure. And,
Yeah.
it's just always been, it's been exciting to me. I like thinking on my feet. I like thinking on the go,
Yeah.
figuring things out. So ICU was suited for that.
Yeah. So if a burn unit contract came up, would you want to go do that after your
Oh,
ICU?
yeah, I've always said that, and I'll probably end up back at the burn unit in some way, shape, or form. It's one of those specialties, that the burn unit that I worked at, you take care of these people from the onset of injury to the time they walk out of the hospital. So you see them all the way through, the different phases of care, and the rehab, the whole 9 yards. And whereas doing just regular ICU nursing, I mean, you might take care of a patient for a week or two and come back to work and they're gone, and you never know what happened. You know what happens to them. So with burn nursing, you can actually watch your patient get better. Of course, you'd have them for a long time. I mean, you'd have a severe burn. You'd have probably up to 6 months, in the hospital. So it's kind of cool to watch them, be a part of their getting better experience. So
Yeah. Well, I know from what I understand on the burn unit, it's pretty tough, like
yeah,
cleaning it's got to be hard to like watch, see them in that much pain
Right.
on a regular
And
basis.
it is. It's it's every bit as bad as you think it is. It's we can give them pain medicine, but you can't ever really. You can take the edge off, but you can't fully get rid of the kind of pain that they experience. And it's a necessary evil of the job. You take them to their, it's called hydrotherapy, where you take them in and wash them down, you debride the dead skin. And it's pretty brutal. It's pretty brutal on the patient, but like I said, it's a necessary evil. It's something they have to get done to get better,
So I know that's got to be super tough. So what do you do on your days off, to help take care of yourself, like mentally and physically?
Well, I have 6 kids, so I don't know if I ever mentally get a break.
6 kids?
Yeah. Between my wife and I, we have 6 kids. She had 3, I had 2, and we have 1 together. So, but no, I like to work out. I'm pretty, I try to go every day to work out and keep my body in shape, because I have a 2-year-old that I have to chase around. I'm 46 and I've got a 2-year-old, so I've got to stay in pretty good shape to chase him around. But and my kids, they keep us busy. During the fall, I've got 2 of my boys play high school football, and then I've got my oldest son plays college football. So our weekends in the fall are pretty busy. And then my daughters, I've got one daughter that dances, and I've got one daughter that does competitive cheer. So, we're never lacking for things busy, to do. Yeah, we're pretty busy. But I like to, as far as me personally, like I said, I like to work out, but I try to hunt. I'm an avid outdoorsman. I love being outside. I love being in the woods.
Yeah.
Whenever I have time, whenever I don't have a kid function to go to.
Yeah, it definitely does fit in to the it's in the fall when you're trying to deer hunt, and all these games.
Got kids games. Yeah, my son, he'll play 8 hours away, and I don't miss games. I go to all of them. So I stay pretty busy in the fall.
Yeah, that sounds busy. I mean, at least you're keeping yourself busy, and good. I mean, that's good. So what made you decide to get into travel nursing? Because you were just an RN and then you went into travel nursing, or have you always been?
Travel? Yeah, I worked at the bedside for 10 years in the burn unit. ER burn unit. And I worked at the level 1 trauma center here in town, and I'd float to SI, I'd float to M. I've worked all the ICUs in some capacity. I've done just a little bit of everything. I've done travel, home health, I've done OR, but mostly, it's been ICU stuff. So, I got into management. I was a supervisor in the burn unit for 2 years, and I liked that. That was a fun, pretty cool job to have.
Yeah.
And then did that for 2 years, and then I went into management. I managed 3 units. I had the burn unit, I had a CC step down unit, and I had had the pediatric ICU. And I did that for about a year, and I was just like, this just isn't me. I felt like I was pretty good at it, but I'm not a sit behind a desk kind of dude. I mean, I've got to be up moving. I've got to be up doing things. I like being at the bedside. I just felt like I was, pulled away from something that I was really good at, and I just felt, not necessarily lost, but I felt like,
bored.
Being a manager wasn't necessarily my calling. I love my nurses. I had the best nurses, because I started managing right at the beginning of the pandemic. So, I'm sure that had a lot to do with my stress levels, but my nurses that I had were the best. I mean, our units constantly ranked, highest in the different areas that you can, that they were graded on. But But anyway, so to answer your question, I did management for a year, and I was just like, I'm just ready to do something different. The pandemic was at its height, and travel nursing was kind of all the rage at the time. I said, I'm ready to do it. I'm ready to get out from under a hospital and just kind of go do my thing. So I took it was about this time last year, it's February of last year, I took my first assignment in Dallas, and loved it, have loved it ever since. And, I don't think I'll ever go back. Well, I never say never, but I feel like I probably won't ever go back to being a staff nurse again. I mean, I love traveling, I love freedom. I love, obviously the money's good, but it's, one of those things that I just really enjoy. And it's been good for us. It's been good for my family. So my family's been super supportive of me. There's no way I could do this without them, because like I said, we have 6 kids, and I'm away from home a lot, and, I had to, my wife and I had a lot of long talks before this happened, and she was all for it, and she supported me every step of the way. So it's worked out good.
So your family stays home while you go travel?
Yes. Yeah. It's too much. When I was in Dallas, they would come over, because Dallas is but like 3 hours away from my home. So, and my brother-in-law lives over in Dallas, so they could come over there and visit with him as well. But, during school, with school going on, and my wife is a nurse as well, so she has the job. And it's just, I try to come home when I can, to see them. I'm home now, so.
Yeah. So, what made you choose Travel Nurses Inc. as your agency? How did you hear about us?
I think Travel Nurses Inc. chose me. I think I was actually on assignment in Dallas when I first heard from Maddie. Maddie called me, and I think I don't know if I filled out an application with you guys, or it was just, luck of the draw, because I'll get stuff from agencies all day, every day, about different assignments, and I'm like, how do you know who I am?
Yeah.
But anyway, she reached out to me. She called me, and, she and I, we talked, and, we've hit it off since day one. I mean, she's been awesome through this whole process. So when I got back from Dallas, we tried to do something, and I don't know if it fell through or there was nothing really available. I don't remember what happened, but I ended up taking like a 6-week contract with another company. And, I told her, I said, I want to work with you, but I've got to have a job right now. And there just wasn't anything available. And she called me about the end of that contract that I was on and said, hey, we've got something available if you want to do it. So anyway, we've had a good relationship since. I started work for you guys, I guess, back in September of last year, August or September of last year. And, it's been great. I mean, Maddie's great. She's always available to me, and, she checks in on me, and, if I have a question, she's right there for me to give her a call. And, we've really, developed a pretty good friendship through all this. So
great.
But the company as a whole has been great. I mean, you guys have been awesome. I mean, it's been, you guys have been very easy to work with and very accommodating, and it's been a good experience. I told Maddie, I said, you're not getting rid of me anytime soon. So
we'll keep you.
Yeah, right. So, but yeah, I've enjoyed it. I sure have.
That's great. As a seasoned nurse, I mean, you've been in this a while. What do you think travel nursing and nursing in general will look like in 5 years from now? Like, it's changed so much.
I think nursing in general, you're starting to see a shift of more nurses doing travel nursing. I mean, it's, you can't really talk to a nurse anywhere that, my goal is to ultimately travel. That's what they tell you. And I think that, if there was one good thing that came out of the pandemic, I think it allowed nurses to see their worth, as far as, what they deserve to be paid. I mean, if a mechanic can charge me $100 an hour to fix my truck, why can't I make that to save somebody's life?
Yeah.
So I think that the pandemic really opened a lot of nurses' eyes, and hey, I'm finally getting paid what I'm worth, and I'm not knocking hospitals. I know that they've got to do what they got to do to make money too, but as a manager, in dealing with agency nurses when I was a manager and dealing with my full-time staff, I always advocated for my nurses. I want my nurses to, if you would pay my nurses half of what you paid an agency nurse, you would keep them.
Yeah.
But, they're just not willing to do that. And nurses see that, and they're going to go after the money. They're going to go after the dollar. And I really think that you're going to see a greater shift of staff nurses doing this, and which is going to put the hospitals in a bind. But, they kind of brought it on themselves, I mean, I hate to say that, but as far as the pandemic goes, you're going to see, peaks and valleys with this thing. It's going to get good, and then it'll get bad again. Then it'll, and it's always going to be good for nurses,
Plenty of patients to take care of.
Plenty of patients to take care of. They'll always be sick people. Always be sick. Well, and I think what you're seeing now is nurse or hospital, at least the hospital I'm at now, they're needing nurses, not because of pandemic. I mean, our COVID numbers are low to non-existent right now.
Yeah.
But they're needing people just because they don't have staff. I mean, their full-time staff is left. They're either traveling or burnout or retired, or, it's they're just, they need travelers because they don't have anybody.
That's tough.
Yeah.
Hey, but we appreciate you guys. We appreciate the nurses and everything that y'all do. It's so hard. It's so tough, especially during the pandemic. Like, I can't even imagine all the things you had to deal with.
So. Right. It was tough. And like I said, for most of the pandemic, I was in management. I really wasn't at the bedside, but I did go to the bedside some, even as a manager, to help my nurses, just because they were just overwhelmed, and I'd go out there and help them a little bit. But it was, I was actually travel nursing during the second wave of the pandemic. Was that Omicron, or I don't remember which one it was.
I think that is what it was called.
And that was tough. Like I lost close friends, to the virus, and I think that one was a little tougher because you saw so much. It was the younger population that was being affected so much, and there's just, you'd go in every day. I mean, and, I working agency, I'd work 3 days a week, and, the next week I'd go in and it'd be a whole new unit of patients because everybody had died, that was in there before, so it takes a toll on you, it's because you're in there and you're there's nothing you can do. And it's you're giving everything you got, and it's all futile. The end result is going to be, this patient's not going to make it. So it's pretty tough.
Yeah. That's awful. But I mean, I appreciate all that y'all do. And Travel Nurses Inc., we're here. We want to support y'all. And it's just, I can't even imagine. So, I mean, I mean, I sympathize, but I don't know, to be in your shoes, so it's gotta be so tough, but we appreciate you.
And you guys have been great. I mean, Maddie's, she's been awesome. And, the company itself, and from HR to, everybody that I've dealt with at Travel Nurses Inc. has just been phenomenal. I mean, just top notch, and, I have no complaints. I do a lot of recruiting for you guys.
Good, good.
I try to send good nurses your way all the time. So
Good. That's all I have for you today. I appreciate
all
you
right.
being with me, even though
I-
you had a busy household, you got a lot going on. Yeah. Well,
it was
I
pretty bad.
appreciate you coming on and, getting better and be working with me so that you could get in and be.
Oh yeah, it's fine. I'm just glad he did good. He's on the couch behind me right now watching his iPhone. So I'm just glad he cooperated.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you so much. We'll talk to
You're
you
very welcome.
soon. I
All
appreciate
right.
it. Thank you.
Have a good day.